Anyways,
Yeah,
Austin
so
Reeves,
Austin Reeves,
my goat.
he qualifies. Is it 200
We could
or
round it
what's
up.
the
It's 250.
250? Okay. Yeah, so he can get that max contract of around 250. Um, so he would qualify for 25% of the salary cap for the Lakers. The Lakers do have the advantage because they can give him the fifth year option. And if he were to sign with like another team in free agency, then they could only give him, the 4 year. I'm pretty sure like the only two teams who could like realistically sign Austin Reeves in free agency would be like the Bulls and the Nets. But
Yeah,
like other than that, no one can really do anything. And so like the Lakers, if they were to give him that contract, um, they could give him 8% raises after every season. If he were to go to the Nets or the Bulls, it would be 5%. So there's not, you know, there's not many options for the Lakers here, in my opinion. Like,
the main report
I don't,
is he's reportedly seeking that contract as we speak,
yeah.
and it's
So I mean, the
uncertain if
Lakers
he
don't have
wants
to
the
sign him
discount.
for that.
Yeah, and it's uncertain that he's willing to take a hometown discount. There's like really no showing that he's gonna budge on it.
I see no benefit in the Lakers not bringing Austin Reeves back, and the reason I say that is because it's not like keeping all or like the Lakers need to keep Austin Reeves because losing him would only be like a $21 million cap hold, and there's no one in free agency that would be worth that. That could replace Austin Reeves with that. The next best like free agent is probably LeBron, but like the unrestricted free agent market this offseason is not very good. And so I think that the Bulls and Nets would probably put an offer for Austin Reeves because of how bad the free agent class is.
Here's the scenario. If I'm the Lakers, I'm not signing Austin Reeves. He needs to take a shorter contract. I'm not signing him to that contract. If he signs that contract, there's no more cap space. Um, it's all vet minimums from there because they're gonna have 105. They're gonna have 105 million dollars in cap. Um, most of it is player options. So DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart, they're probably gonna accept their player options.
Mm.
If they accept them, and Austin Reeves doesn't accept his, which obviously he's probably not, um, they're going to go into free agency if they also hit the team option for Dalton Connect. So pretty much if they're keeping the people that they already have for deals out for going into next year, they will have about $90 million in already spent. That will bring them to an overall cap room of about 65 million dollars. Um, so with that being said, if they have about 60 or $65 million to spend, and you're getting Austin Reeves on a 5 year, $250 million, 240, my bad, $240 million contract, that is about 48 million. So 48 million, 60. So that's probably going to leave about around $15 million, $17 million. Um, so if they sign Reeves to that, LeBron's not coming back unless they want to go into the tax apron and pay the tax there. Um, this really showcases whatever they do with Austin Reeves is going to tell me everything I need to know because the only way LeBron comes back realistically is if Austin Reeves is on a cheaper deal. If they do end up signing Austin Reeves to that contract, LeBron is definitely not returning to the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, because they're going to use that 17 million to pick up. They're going to round out the rest of the roster. Um, and they're going to need it because this roster is rough. Um, ideally, I if if I'm Rob Pelinka, I would probably want Reeves more towards like a
200
5 year.
probably.
um Best case scenario 150, but you might have to bargain for 200. 200 would be a bargain. I know that sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
the reason I say that is because Luca is making a third of the cap. So,
And that's another thing I wanted to bring up with this was if we just go off of, say, the highest paid NBA player is the best player in the league, and we just go down the list like that. If Austin Reeves got that $41.5 million, that would be the 35th highest player, which I don't think is awful. Like, I would consider Austin Reeves a top 50 player.
mhm.
And so I wouldn't like think it's like an insane stretch if you just base it off a contract value. But like you said, I don't see Austin Reeves as a guy who should make that much if he's not probably not a number two on a championship team. I don't think he's a number two.
And that's
I
what
think
I'm
he's a number
saying.
three.
We don't know if he is a number 2. And we were trying to see if he was this season, and you still don't even know because he was injured a lot. And even when playoffs came, he had one or two good games in the stretches that he played. Otherwise, he sold a lot. He was shooting
Yeah. He
bad.
was not a good playoff player. And
Mm-mm.
also along that line, even if he does prove to be a number two, can you still win with a backcourt of Luca and Austin Reeves defensively? I don't think you can.
Yeah, man. Like if you give Austin Reeves that contract, it's 48 million a season. That means, well, that's assuming you're not front loading or back loading. Traditionally, you backload the NBA contracts. Like Luca,
Hmm.
Luca made 45. He made about 46. Um, this season, he's going to be making 50 next season. So he goes up 4 million. So Austin Reeves, he'll probably start smaller, but still, like, even if he's making like 44 million or 42 million in his first year with his new deal, dude, he's only like 8, 6, or 4 million away from Luca money.
Yeah.
So you are pretty much saying that he's bare minimum a number 2.
This is going to be a really fine line to walk because this has the making of becoming a very dangerous contract. Because on one hand, you don't want to lose the asset of Austin Reeves. If he were just to walk away for nothing and go to the Nets, they sign him to that deal, you're left with pretty much nothing. However, like there's nothing worse in the NBA than having a negative asset. And this could potentially, like down the road in a couple years, we could see it as that if he were to get such a big contract like this, especially like you already mentioned with his injury history, with his playoff performances, what he's shown,
Yep.
and also just the defensive side of the ball. It's not there. Like you have to really rely on his offense, and obviously you're in the same backcourt as your franchise player Luca, who's obviously not known for his defense. He's not going to do anything on
But
that
he's one of the
end.
best offensive players in the league. So
Exactly. And so
he's a
you can work
generational
with that.
talent. I mean,
But if you're gonna get on and off play from your second best player and your second highest paid player, this could very well turn into a bad thing for the Lakers. And so they have to decide if that's worth it. But I agree with you that they have to hope that Austin Reeves takes less of a contract, which I think is possible because like he wanted to play for the Lakers when he was coming out of college. Like he chose to not be drafted. Like he basically told the Pistons, "No, don't draft me,"
Mm-hmm.
because he had his eyes set on the Lakers the whole time. So obviously, it's a business. He's gonna try to get his money, but he doesn't seem like a guy who would be like super stubborn. Like, no, I need the absolute most money I can get.
Well,
Like, I
this is
think he would
bargaining too.
probably take less of it as well.
Well, this is bargaining too. I mean, agents are involved too, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, the agent's going to do his job and he's going to try, like, at the end of the day, the agent's ideal situation is getting my client the biggest contract I can get them. And if there's any way for me to get information out there that there's a chance he might not come back because he might get lowballed, that's what they do. That's the job in mind. Um, so I'm not surprised that report came out because it's the beginning of the smoke and fire. And where
Mhm.
there's smoke and fire, there's a forest fire.
Whoa,
And this is
that's
this is gonna get drawn out.
yeah.
um, there's gonna be I think there's two scenarios here, Zach. Either the Lakers do sign him to that contract, or they do hold out and see if anyone offers him a deal. And if they do, this might end up being a sign and trade.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Is
There
it
is
possible that there would be a sign in trade?
pretty sure
Hmm. That would be interesting.
because if the Bulls and the Nets are coming after him, then I mean, there's some assets. And the Bulls are always willing to give you some assets. Turns out.
That is true.
Hmm. Yeah, so I just looked up. Austin Reeves definitely has the eligibility to be involved in a sign and trade.
Hmm. Okay,
So I mean,
that
if
makes
you,
sense.
so I mean, if you do have the Bulls and Nets coming after you, I mean, if we look at the Bulls roster, they do have a lot of guards. They have a lot of
I could.
guards.
I was gonna say, well,
Anthony
even with the Nets
Simons.
though, I was thinking like if you're the Nets, you could get off of Claxton, and they drafted
Oh,
like 37
dude,
point guards last year. That
dude.
could give one of those guys. Like, I feel
If
like
the
that makes sense.
I think that would actually be the best deal. That's actually I'm glad you brought that up. If the Lakers have to do a sign and trade, if they can get Claxton for him, that is super ideal because the Lakers have been struggling to get the big man that they need, especially for Luca. If you can get someone like a Nick Claxton in there to run pick and roll with Luca, I
Yeah,
mean that's perfect. And Nick Claxton's going to look even better because you have Luca giving you the ball. So that's literally
and
match made in heaven easily.
yeah, and they have so many guards already. Like, they can afford to give probably one guard to throw in. But even just like a one for one, that would probably work. But I mean, if you're the Nets, it's like you're Claxton doesn't fit their timeline. He fits the Lakers timeline. And so
Yeah,
the Nets, it's Danny Wolf season. Come on.
it's and also don't forget Austin Reeves is 28, guys. Some people forget Austin Reeves is 28. He's not like 25. He is 28 years old. He's in the peak
That's
of his
wild.
career.
I would have thought he was like
So
26.
just keep in mind, if you are Rob Palinka, I'm looking at Austin Reeves' stats, his age, and everything, and I'm like, is this guy as a 28-year-old giving me number two production? Because Austin Reeves at 28
Mm,
to the age of 29 and 30, these are probably his best years. Because
yeah.
people forget he's 28. He came in the league at an older age. Let's not forget. Like his first year he was
Yeah, he was at
23.
Wichita State and then
Mhm.
Oklahoma. He's been around.
He was 23. He just turned 28. So you have a guy that's just turned 28. And if you're offering him a 5-year deal, $240 million, that means by the time his contract is done, he's going to be 33. So,
And
Mr.
you're still trying to project who he is as well.
at 28,
Yeah. Hmm.
you're
Go
projecting a
ahead.
guy at the age of 28, Zach.
Go tell Mr. Palinka
I think
your
Palinka
piece.
knows. I hope he knows because at the end of the day, I think people just, if this was any other player, if it wasn't Austin Reeves on the Lakers specifically, no one would consider this contract. How about,
Yeah.
you know what? This as well. If Austin Reeves was not on the Lakers, any other team, this contract would not be a discussion. This contract is only a discussion because he's on the Lakers.
Oh, snap.
I mean, think
Chat clip
about
that.
it. The only reason this contract is a thought is because he's on the Lakers. Let's be real. Any other team, they would not be talking 240 million for Austin Reeves.
Mm,
The only reason they're in this position is because they have Luca and LeBron is 40 years old.
yeah.
So Austin Reeves is your next best option.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is someone you're comfortable calling a number three on a championship team. Like, who would be comfortable calling him a number two? I don't think anyone's comfortable with that,
He
if
looked
we're
like
being
it in the
honest.
early he looked like at the start of the season and then once he got injured, he's never been the same. He was
But
all
even with a hot start to start the season, like playoff basketball, like the defense you have to play, the shots you have to make, like in big moments, that's a little scary.
well, see the main issue the main convo was him and Luca were looking so offensively dominant. See, you can make the argument to me to keep Reeves if him and Luca are super dominant together offensively, if they're like top 5, top 3 offense in the NBA. If they're doing that together, you might be able to swing me because at the end of the day, like having two guys that can average 30 points per game because Austin Reeves was averaging 30 at the start of the season. He was all NBA stat wise, maybe not defensively, but he was up there with Luca. Like they were both competing for all NBA, and then he got hurt. Luca also got hurt, but dude, they were on a crazy run at the start of the season, and then it all crashed and burned. But at that time, like there was an actual argument. Like you could have told me, like this is an insane offensive duo. You should build around it. You know, build out the rest of the roster with players that complement both of them. And if Austin Reeves was that player, I think you could make the argument. The only reason we're here now is because once he got injured, he's never been the same after that. And then in the playoffs, he kind of crapped the bed. So he was on the it was there, man. They were on the right track, and then it just all blew up right in their face.
One of my other issues with this is we're not even considering the cost of playing the Thunder, the Spurs, the Timberwolves, like during playoff games with that backcourt. Like, this feels like we're going to try to be a really good tier 2 West team. And I don't think you're going to get to
Yeah.
that tier 1
You know what? That's a
with
good
Austin
point.
Reaves.
Yeah, that's a good point because then it's like one of those combos where you're like, okay, even if Austin Reeves is a number two and him and Luca are this offensively dominant, are they going to be so offensively dominant that the Thunder's defense and the Spurs defense is not going to be able to stop them?
Right.
Because to be honest with you, the reason the Thunder and the Spurs are so dominant defensively is because they can throw multiple different bodies on you
Yeah.
and slow you down. They don't need to stop you, but they can they can deplete your energy. The Spurs can throw Castle at you. They can throw Dylan Harper at you. They can also throw Wemby on you because turns out Wemby can play perimeter defense because he's 7'4" with like an 8 foot wingspan.
Well,
So
if you think about it, that's how the past two NBA champions were built, and probably the third NBA champion this year. You had the Celtics, who could switch everybody. You had the Thunder last year, could do the same, and then you have the Knicks, who are probably going to win it, or even if Spurs somehow make a comeback, both of those teams can switch any guys.
we are becoming
And
more defensive
Austin
heavy
Reeves,
league.
yeah, yeah, Austin Reeves and Luca will be picked on the whole time, and you just got to bet on their offense somehow being better enough to account for that. And I don't think that's possible in a 7 game series.
And the reason we're becoming more of a defensive heavy league is because Wemby is at the forefront, but also a part of that is more teams. It's it's kind of like the repercussion in a way. It's in comparison, it's like the NFL where in the NFL the Chiefs were so dominant at their peak offensively. They were generational. And then what happened to cause that? More defensive schemes with two high safeties. Defenses became way more advanced than they were during that time. Obviously, defensive schemes have always been, high quality, but the Chiefs made teams think outside the box and think of different ways that they could beat them. And then
Yeah.
they went from being unbeatable to, oh, we can beat this team. We just need the right pieces on this side of the ball to actually do something because we can't stop them, but we can slow them down because it is a numbers game at the end of the day. Shout out to Kenny Atkinson. um,
Bro.
but it's the same way in
It
the
always
NBA.
comes back to him.
Oh yeah, it's always gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
um, but it's the same in the NBA. Like we had our time with very offensive heavy teams. We had the Warriors, um, and then I mean the Raptors. I wouldn't say they were heavy. They were pretty good on both sides of the ball. But Lakers were really good offensively, and then you had the Warriors again, Bucks. They were really good on both sides of the ball. But you've seen progression over time where it's like, oh, if I just have like really good defenders on the court at the same time, it's really hard for these guys to score. And also a part of that too is how contracts are and how many good players you can have on a team now because you're never going to see a team like the Warriors ever again. You might have teams that might get close to that. Um,
Especially with the CBA. It's like almost
it's
impossible to
hard.
recreate something like that.
Yeah, it's hard to recreate putting three historical shooters on your team.
Hmm.
Like the Knicks offense is, it's pretty good, but their offense is not close to as historic as having Curry, Clay, and KD. Like those three guys easily can outshoot and outscore anybody on the Knicks starting lineup. But that Knicks starting lineup can guard probably a lot of great teams that we've seen. Like I would love to see a Knicks like this Knicks team versus that Warriors team
They have
personally.
4 guys on the court who could guard 1 through 5 pretty much.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that would interest me a lot because you have a lot of guys that can actually guard these guys one-on-one coverage. Like it's not like 2017 LeBron on KD where LeBron's having a pretty mid defensive season to what he's usually used to. You have OG and Anobi who's on KD, who's going to be in your face, and he's also longer than LeBron, and his literal job is to stop you. So
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that's interesting to think about. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, it is interesting to think about too, like you were saying, how the league has shifted because, like, pretty much the last team that wasn't like crazy minded that made the finals was the Mavericks. And it's like, what did you see the Mavericks do right after, they lost the finals? It's like, yeah, the next season they trade away Luca to try to intake more defense and tried to build their identity that way. Because it's like even the Pacers last year, obviously offensively they were insane, but they had dudes who could guard. It's like you got Nemhard, you got Aaron Neesmith, Matherin. Like you have a lot of guys who could switch and guard as well. So it's like, yeah, now you're gonna start seeing teams who can't be super one-sided dominant, especially if the one side is offense. Like you have to have those guys who can switch, especially in a 7-game series. So yeah, it's very fun now to see how teams will build, and even just like in the draft, like finding those guys who are like, yeah, just like the extremely long wingspan, maybe have some potential to grow a jump shot, but like they're a dog on defense. It's like, yeah, you should get those guys.
to
And it's like
finish.
sometimes the pure scorers, it's like, okay, they're fine, but it's like you can find those guys, but can you defend? You know, I think that's
Dude,
super
it's
important.
all about two-way players now. Like you
Yeah.
have to be able to do both sides of the ball. You have to. You can't just be one-sided player anymore. It's just not possible. Like
Yeah, you have to
you
be
can't be
like
a
a
full
special
liability.
talent.
Mhm.
That's your only chance.
You got to be like, and if you're somehow only good at defense and offense, like you have to be really good. Like you have to be one of the best three-point shooters, or you have to be one of the best perimeter or interior defenders for you
Right.
to even get, a contract or considered if you're not good on either side of the ball. That's why Steven Adams is still here.
Yeah.
Because he's still good interior presence, but that's literally all he gets paid to do is he plays like his 4 to 8 minutes just for the interior presence. So, because you
Yeah,
still need
you have
those guys
to.
sometimes. It just depends how your team's built.
Mhm.
But
And he's an important piece. Like he would, you know, like a lot of teams would want him,
yeah, because he does
even at
play
his
he
age.
does play good defense. And dude, he gets
Yeah.
boards. It's really not
Yeah.
just his defense. It's the boards, dude. He gets a lot of rebounds.
His screening's good
A
too.
lot more
Like
than
he,
Shangoon.
yo,
He's not a baby like Shangoon.
he
Katie
doesn't
would
run
know.
like a duck.
Yeah, Katie would know best. Trust.
Oh yes.
But I'm gonna
Yeah.
make a prediction real quick before we move on.
Got you.
The league right now is defensively heavy. I would not be surprised if we see it in the future move to more shot creation heavy. Because
Hmm.
that's what makes these defenses so dominant is part of it is these teams can't have the crazy offensive rosters that they had before. But that's because a lot of these guys are really not good at shot creating. Um, I would not be surprised as the younger groups come up through college, high school, college, or whatever, that their coaches are more fixated on players being more gifted shot creators.
Yeah, it's just really tough to have like a good amount of shot creators on one team. It's like
Yeah,
especially on the floor together.
I think we'll see the comeback of the mid-range shot, Zach, because for how dominant these defenses are, what beats it at the end of the day is a good mid-range shot.
Yep.
It really is at the end of the day because that's what we see in the playoffs. If you I've been saying this for several years now, if you cannot make a mid-range shot in the playoffs, you might as well sit because you're cooked. Like there's a reason why guys like SGA is dominant in the playoffs. Maybe not this past playoffs, but that's the reason why he continues to have success because his mid-range is so
Hmm.
deadly. And like if Wemby becomes a deadly mid-range shooter, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna
GG's.
do. It's over. Like the mid-range, like whether people want to say analytically it's a bad shot, once you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different game. And mid-ranges win games, baby. That's all I know.
Brunson.
In the
Oh,
playoffs. Yep. Yep.
he's a
Brunson. If
killer.
you really want to know, go look at game one.
Yeah.
Just saying.
DeMar DeRozan's licking his chops like that's going to be my Kings next year.
Well, yeah, you can't just be like a pure mid-range shooter though. Like obviously the three-point shot still has value. Well, also DeRozan's not really a good defender either, so
Yeah.
he's just mid-range
I'm just saying you
assassin.
gave him hope, man, because I know he's listening and send us a jersey.
Yeah, you're gonna
We'd
be in the
really appreciate it.
3v3 league with Ice Cube soon. It's okay. You're
Yo,
gonna look crazy in that league though, I will say.
bro, we're trying to get him to give us a jersey, man. Your Kings are going to be fire. I got you
He's
all
gonna be
NBA
in the big
first team
three.
next
I'm
year.
just saying. He's perfect. Him and ISO Joe
He
are gonna
he would
go crazy.
honestly, yeah, he would cook.
Yep. Him and ISO Joe, bro. It's over.